there, crafty friends. My name is Linda Dolke and I'm a demonstrator with Stampin' Up! Here in Australia. So, today I have something really cool to show you because I'm introducing some brand new products, and you'll see straight up that everything I'm showing you is absolutely beautiful. It is called the Christmas Time is Here Suite, and it's made up of a bunch of different products. And the first one, probably the centerpiece of the suite really, is this cling stamp set. It's in two different boxes, so one of two and two of two. You can see that this is like a line drawing stamp that will give you a beautiful image, and it's got a rose, and there's like pine cones and pine needles and leaves and berries around it, so it's kind of a rose with a Christmas feel. And then the second one here has the colors to fill this in, so you can actually color the rose in with this stamp. Of course, you could also color it using any coloring tool that you wish, but we do actually have a tool that will do that, so the stamp will color it. And there's some great sentiments. There's little berries and bits that also fill in all the little bits and pieces in here. And I'm going to make a card with you today just to show you how this stamp might work, just one of many, many ways to use it. And I'll quickly take you through the rest of the suite. So we also have matching dies, and of course that's always good to have. So we have this big one here actually cuts out the whole big rose, so you should be able to see that that perfectly matches up with that stamp there, so you can cut out the whole thing. And also we have in here, while I'm talking about this, we have this beautiful paper. Well, of course, this also cuts out the image in the paper, so if you don't have time to do any stamping, you can still cut out your rose and get a beautiful effect. So that's giving you extra bonus because it cuts out the roses in the paper as well as the stamp. Okay, so that's pretty exciting. We've got a couple of like label type dies here, which are a lovely shape, as you can see, which will cut out the sentiments in the set beautifully. We've got a couple of little scrolly kind of flourishes and some great little background pieces that will do a wonderful job. And you'll see me use these a lot over the next month or so. The thing about this set, these products are only available to customers for the month of November. So if you like it, and you can hold out till the 1st of November, then it will be available to you, and it will be available while stocks last. So if you love it, grab it soon on or soon after the 1st of November. If you can't wait that long, you could also become a demonstrator if you wanted to, because you'd be able to choose it as one of the items in your kit. So the demonstrator kit is always available there, and it's a fantastic deal because not only do you get an ongoing discount on your products, but the kit itself is a fabulous deal, and it can open up all kinds of doors. So if you're interested in that, please message me. All right, so apart from that, we've also got this awesome paper that I've sort of mentioned already. One side has this gorgeous gold foiling in it. I hope you can see the shine on that. So it's got like little gold dots in the background, and the flowers are actually outlined in gold. And then this one here has like a gold mesh kind of design. Reminds me of fishnet stockings actually, but gold, which is a bit fancy. And then we've also got these beautiful little roses also with the gold little roses on there as well. And then of course we have the reverse sides of our paper, which are more traditional Christmas designs. This one's just a little bit scrolly. We've got the green here. The green in this, if you're wondering, is Mossy Meadow. Okay, so we've got more sort of generic Christmas designs on the back, but you have got these gorgeous gold pieces. There are 12 sheets in this pack, which means 3 designs. You're going to get 4 of each double-sided sheet. So it's great value if you're wanting to make multiples of the same card, because instead of getting the usual 2 of each design, you're going to get 4. So that's absolutely fantastic. Right, move those out of the way. 2 other things in the suite that I wanted to show you today, and that is these fantastic gold glitter enamel dots. So they are beautiful and glittery, and they'll look fabulous on your project. And of course, because we can never have enough glitter, we've also got this gold glimmer or shimmer ribbon. So I hope you can see how pretty that is. It's really lovely. All right, so we've got all those bits and pieces. There is one other thing in the set, excuse me, Please excuse me. One other thing in the set that I'm not showing you today, and that is there's actually a bracelet. It says it's gold, but it doesn't mean it's gold in material. It means it's gold in colour, and it's a beautiful bracelet. So if you're interested in that, check out the whole suite on my Facebook page or website. Like I said, they'll be available on the 1st of November, so you'll see them go up closer to that date. I'm just going to show you how to make this very simple little card today. I'm actually going to be I've used crumb cake for this base. You could use any neutral you choose. I really like the way the gold embossing looks on the crumb cake, and I have done a very similar card to this before with the magnolias, but I'm just going to show you how I get this effect around here. If you were using smoky slate, say, you might choose to use silver instead of the gold, but I've gone with the gold today. So I'm going to bring in my piece of crumb cake cardstock. I'm just doing a 1-layer card to make it very simple today for you to see how quick and easy it is to get stunning designs without not a lot of preparation. So I'm just folding my half a piece of A4 cardstock. I've cut it in half, and then I'm folding it in half again to get the card size that I'm after. I'm just going to use a bone folder over the corner of that. Oh, if you're wondering about my grid paper with the little Christmassy design on it, this is some special release Christmas grid paper that Stampin' Up! Have bought out. In Australia, it's $15.75 a pack. So if you really like that, I thought I'd get a couple of packs to use at my Christmas classes. But it's a bit of fun, something with a beautiful twirl design around the outside there. All right, so I've got my piece of crumb cake in half here, and I'm going to be using the big line drawing Christmas rose. And here it is here. And it's actually a bit too big to fit on block E. You could almost get it on there. Oh, just fits actually. Or you could also use block F. So E or F. F is the bigger one again. That's this size. Okay, I don't use this one very often, but you will, if you've got block E, you can manage with block E. I thought it would be too big, but it's not. All right, so I'm going to ink this up with Versamark ink. Okay, and Versamark ink is a clear, sticky ink that our embossing powder will adhere to. And I'm just going to make sure I've got that well inked up. You won't see much happening. You just have to trust me at this bit that it is actually going to work. And then I'm going to be stamping this over the corner of my crumb cake piece, just like this. Making sure I get a good solid stamp. Now, I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you see it almost? Let's see. Oh, it's hard to see, isn't it? You just have to trust me that it's there. And then I'm actually going to add a little bit. Where would I like this bit to go? Just a little bit up here, because I don't want as much showing at the top. So I've gone... My card opens this way, so I've gone bottom right hand corner and top left hand corner. Now I'm going to bring in some gold embossing powder, which just come in these little tubs, and we have it of course in all the different metallics, and we have black, we have clear. Clear is probably the one I use the most for different techniques, but gold and silver and copper are all really, really useful. It's also really handy when you're embossing to use a little container, because any excess can be cleaned up in the container. So I'm just going to position this over here, and that sticky ink that you can barely see, you'll be able to see why we've used it in a moment, because it's going to stick in the shape of the image that we just stamped. I'm just going to tap that off. Tap off any excess. Now, if you're worried about any little stray bits, you can pop those off with your finger, or if you've got a little paintbrush, you can zip around with your little paintbrush and remove any pieces that are stray. And I'm going to do the other side. You can see I'm basically dumping the whole thing over. Alright, pretty happy with that. I'll give it a bit of a flick so that if any stray bits are still sticking out where they shouldn't, they'll fall off. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that. You should be able to see that design no problems now. Move those out of the way. Alright, now I'm going to bring in my heat tool. So for this bit, I'm actually going to speed up the camera in a moment so that you don't have to wait too long for me to do it. Not that it takes a huge amount of time, but let's see how we go. This is my trusty heat tool. Turn it on. And it just takes a moment for it to heat up. And then you should start to see it change. Okay, so now we have our gold embossed roses. You could just leave them like that on the background if you wanted to, but we're going to make them look even more special. Now, once again, I have done this technique previously with the magnolias, so if you haven't seen that video, go over there and check it out. I did it a little bit differently. I used just a tiny hint of colour, whereas for this one today I'm going to add quite a bit more colour. I'm using first though a base of Whisper White, okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to push my ink pad really hard, so I actually can feel the inside ink pad making contact with the lid, so that when I open it up, I've actually managed to get some white ink here on the surface. An alternative to this would be to actually put a block like this and actually put it into your ink pad and pick up some ink this way. So you can see there's quite a lot there. And then pick it up with your aqua painter. So I'm just using a regular aqua painter. I've got water in the barrel, and I'm just wanting, I don't want it to be too wet, but I want it to move a little bit. So you kind of keep going. If you're worried it's too dry, give it a bit of a squeeze so the water runs through. And then I'm going to start painting straight over the tops of my rose, and I'm trying to stay just inside the lines, but you don't have to be too particular because the embossing, the gold embossing, will actually resist our ink to a certain degree. So you can go over a little bit. You can see even when I go over the lines, you can still see them because they resist the ink. Alright, so I've got a sponge dauber here, and I've got some Rococo Rose, which is one of our new in colours that came out this year and runs for 2 years, June 2019 to 2021. Okay, because these are dry and you can sort of touch them and make sure if you're not sure, I'm actually going to go over this, kind of circling out. you can decide how much you want to do. So you could just leave it like that. But what I wanted to do was to go almost right to the outside, because by having it on a white background, even though we're covering it almost to the edges, it makes the rose kind of jump out because you've got those white bits around the edges. And then I went in kind of with the side of my doorbell and I added a few really dark bits because I kind of wanted to look like there was like shadows in it. So this is a little bit different from what I did with the magnolias. With the magnolias I just flicked the colour out, but with this one I'm wanting to add a bit of dark and light. And hopefully you're getting the idea of how that kind of looks. And I'm adding a little bit to this one. This one is not need as much colour. It's kind of in the background there. And then we'll do this one up here as well. So just by leaving the very, very edges white, you should see it just gives you a, it looks like it's kind of lifting around the edges or something like that. All right, so to me that's really, really pretty. Of course you could just leave it white if you wanted to, but I'm actually really liking it coloured in this case. Now I'm going to use Mossy Meadow, and I have a sponge dauber here that's going to be dipped straight into the Mossy Meadow, and we're just going to very lightly. So this time I'm not wanting to add too much colour because I don't want to overwhelm the roses themselves. And then I'll show you in a moment the difference between the ones that have got the white underneath and the ones that don't. Now, if you wanted to use this rose at other times of the year other than Christmas, you most certainly can. It doesn't have to be a Christmas floral, but I think it looks more Christmassy if we colour in the berries. Now, I did do, originally I didn't colour in the berries on my Christmas rose, but when you actually bring in and add a bit of colour to those berries, they do look very Christmassy. So if you're not wanting to make a Christmas card, maybe don't colour in the berries. Probably depends on the colour too. Like if you're colouring them in red, they definitely look more Christmassy. All right. Okay, so I don't know if you can see, let's put these two next to each other. Can you see the difference in the greens? Because it's on the white, it's a lot brighter and lighter. This is a sort of a dark, more neutral green, but this one is definitely, it's on its way to like somewhere between Mossy Meadow and Mint Macaron, to be honest. So it's a little different. All right, I do have a couple of markers here. I brought in, I've got some Merry Merlot, and I did some of my berries in the Merry Merlot, and they're the ones to me look really, really Christmassy. I didn't do all of them, I just did some. You could leave some undone, or you could do them in different colours. So you can see I'm just adding a few here and there. And you don't have to be very precise with them either. You can kind of just add a dot of colour in the middle of some of them. And I'm leaving the pine cones. You don't have to do absolutely everything. But you can see, I think they look a little bit more Christmassy, don't you think? And then a lighter one. So if you've got the Rococo Rose, you could use that colour as one of your lighter colours. This is actually Flirty Flamingo, and it's really quite nice next to it as well. I thought they looked nice with the two different coloured markers. And these are not the blends, these are just regular Stampin' Write markers, but you could use the blends if you wanted to. But I'm just, as you can see, adding dots here and there so that we have a couple of different colours coming through. There we go. How's that looking? That's nice. All right, and the last thing I wanted to do was add a sentiment. So I'm going to go with the other part of this set. And this beautiful big Merry Christmas. Just making sure it's going to fit okay. Yep, because we can have it going a little bit over there. I think that would look nice. Or we could even have it up in here. No, I want it more in the middle here, because I think that's too big a space otherwise. There is a couple of other ones that look nice too. This one says, wishing you the gifts of the season, peace and joy. And this one says, may this Christmas fill your heart with warmth and love. They're both lovely. So I'm going to use my Rococo Rose and bring in a block. And we're going to stamp that. So you can see there's a little bit of work involved in putting this together, but it's not too crazy. It's still a relatively simple card. I think it's really pretty. You could add a little bit of like a little strip of gold glimmer paper if you wanted to. You could even add a little bit of the shimmer ribbon if you wanted to. That'd be really pretty, like a bow. Add that, glue dot the bow on. That'd be nice. As you can see, this ribbon ties quite nicely. Do it properly this time. So that'd be very pretty as well. So you can see how nice it is. I hope you enjoyed that. To me, it's a relatively simple card, but it's a lot of beautiful tones, and the green and the Rococo Rose look really lovely, and that gold embossing is pretty special. So I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and pop back anytime you like to see more inspiration. Don't forget, guys, these will be available November 1st for customers, so I'd love to help you out. If you don't have a demonstrator and you're in Australia, then please contact me or order through my online store. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.